Making a smartphone 20 years ago, that would probably be your way to go. You'd say, oh, I'm going to connect it to the internet, now I have a smartphone. You probably know this meme if you've seen it, and I grew up with all of this stuff. This is what everybody used to have in their houses. Like, all of this just fits in your pocket right now. This is what makes the thing smart. It replaces a lot of stuff, as you can see on the left side. This is ridiculous. Every household used to have these 20, 50 devices, all the cassettes and all of that stuff lying around home, which has to be recycled and tossed away at some point. You don't have to do this anymore, okay? So that makes the thing smart. It might bring some new issues which have to be resolved, but in the end here, in terms of resource management, resource waste, this is a much better thing than having a household and billions of households full of electronics. So we need to understand what are the actual issues of a problem we're trying to solve before just slapping on a Wi-Fi router to it and saying we had a smart solution for it. Like I started with dealing with liquid heating, and if you take a look at the kettle and try to understand what is the actual problem, it's not my inability to talk to my kettle while I'm not at home. This is not the actual problem with this device. The problem is, as you might know it, it's 1.7 liters to fill them up, you boil them up, and then you actually just need one cup. And that's an issue. And everybody knows that, but we don't really think about it because there is no alternative in the market. If you want to buy something to boil your liquids, it's not like we have 20 devices to choose from, it's literally just one. It's cheap to make, cheap to throw away, it's not being recycled, it just lands in the landfills. And this is it, you never think about it because there is nothing you can consider as an alternative. Another thing is, of course, it gets dirty and filthy inside, everybody knows that. And of course it's wasting a lot of energy because of its inefficiency, because the way it's built. Actually, if you take all German households, just in this country, all German households are wasting over 1 billion kilowatt hours of energy every single year just by boiling water with kettles, because they're so inefficient. This is enough energy, just so you know, to power all electric vehicles in Germany permanently. And this is just being wasted because we have no other way to heat our liquids because we're used to it, right? We're not questioning it. We're just used to it. And this is a horrendous waste. It's just in one country, you know. So, liquid heating is not just about water, right? Some of us like milk, some of us like vegan milk, some chai latte, whatever it is. Like, liquids are liquids, and heating the liquid should not require you to have 20 devices in your kitchen. So we thought about this, and we thought, what else can you actually do with hot liquids? Why do people heat liquids? It's not just to drink. You can make pasta, you need hot water for pasta, you need hot water for rice, for quinoa, whatever you're eating. And of course, I'm from Russia myself, so every kid, every morning, you have to get up, you have to put milk in the cooktop, you have to stir it and make sure to make some pasha or porridge. It can also be done with vegan milk, this is what we do, but it's still something, it's a tradition for many kids. It's warm, it's nice, it's healthy. So this is a pain to make, and I have 2 kids and I know I've been through this. So, and it also requires hot liquids. How do we do this nowadays? We have a kettle, we have a cooktop where you can have your fun with milk, of course it burns and you have to clean it. Then of course you have a microwave, that's for the very adventurous people out there. And you have a good old immersion heater, which, you know, it's not very popular in the Western world, but in my childhood in Russia it was still quite famous, but also dangerous. Let's take a step further. Let's look at what devices do we really have in our kitchens that are actually doing one job, heating liquids. You have the baby milk heater, it's heating a liquid. You have the egg heater, egg boiler, it's just heating water. It does nothing else, literally. You have a milk frother, and you have the sous vide. They all heat liquids, that's all they do. But you have different devices for different use cases, which you use for a couple of times maybe. Like the baby bottle warmer, you usually don't use it quite frequently. And then you toss it away, it lands somewhere in the kitchen, and it's just taking up space and its resources. So we think that it has to be changed. For one need to heat liquids, we cannot use 20 different devices that have to be produced and recycled. And they all waste energy and take your money as well. They also cost money. So what we developed is the Heatle. And the Heatle is the world's first functioning device that can heat any liquid and any amount of any liquid that you want. You can put baby milk on it. For example, you can see here in your office, you can put it out there. You can make tea right next to your computer because the base is also charging your smartphones. It's induction based, so why wouldn't we just integrate it? Why would we require you to buy cables or an induction charger, like a Qi charger, for example? You can do it with one device. You can give it to your kids, they can make cocoa, so it's also suitable for milk, and you can make big nuts with it as well. You can make tea for the whole family, and it's going to work. And all of these devices that you know, what we want to do is we want to make like an ecosystem to replace them with software. You can download an app and you can just unlock an egg boiler. You can buy an accessory for that if you like, but it's dumb. It's made of wood or metal, so it's easy to recycle, you don't have to think about it. And then you just use one, press of a button, you don't have to buy a new device which has to be recycled. You do it all with one base. And why shouldn't you do that if it's possible? And this is what I'm talking about when we say smart design, right? This is what I said, phone charging. Why not? It's already there, why should we integrate it? So my appeal is to everybody out there who's building something that needs hardware, electronics, try to think about the actual problem, and not just by adding, you know, Wi-Fi or internet connection to it. Try to make it smart by design, and don't just do hardware. Try to make smartware, the way we call it. Thank you very much. Very, very many things that just came together for me and my co-founder David, basically from kids burning their hands on cooktops to inability to actually heat up milk in the proper way, and it's just this mess. And you normally don't question it, as I said it, because there is no alternative. How do you heat it otherwise, you know? And we said there must be a better way to make it available for kids, for old people who are unable to lift a big kettle and everything. So we tried to think of a smart way to do it, and we developed it.
So last question, when will you hit the market?
We want to hit the market by beginning of mid next year, so we're far in development, and you can visit us and try it out. It's really cool.
Thank you, Wachtang. Thank you, Heatle.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone.